That's right.
But we have lives. We have human beings right now. We out here sweating. I don't care. Yep. I'm not worried about sweating or being killed because they wish that they could be out here under the sun like us.
That's right.
There's an old song, y'all. There's an old song by a man named Roy Ayers. I don't know if y'all familiar or not. But it goes like, sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine, right?
Yeah.
They can't even enjoy God's gift to us.
Amen.
And you know what? They've got us convinced, or the rest of us, folks who are not here maybe, folks who are not aware, they've got folks convinced that it's okay to put people in cages in order to protect safety. Well, I ask you this question today. In the past 40, 50 years, since they've increased incarceration, right? Since we started to build a prison in this state every year since 1980, for the next 15 years, prison being built, fill them up with us.
Not enough schools.
Are we safer?
No.
Nope.
Does anybody feel safer in their community?
No.
Is anybody more protected? Do we feel more comfortable?
No.
Are we okay? Are we thriving?
No.
Are we confident that our children will wake up and reach their highest potential?
No.
Are we confident that our kids will even live past the age of 18 out here?
No.
There's no way anybody, any family, any human being should be put under that stress.
Amen.
And that's what this is about, right? This is a real life fight because public safety does not look like putting people in cages.
It's all about
Indeed.
money.
Yes,
It's all
indeed.
about money.
That's right, and they need to give us that money because public safety looks like being able to sustain our own dreams.
Amen.
And our own vision of self-determination. And our own path towards reaching our full potential
Yes.
without them coming in to harm us.
Amen.
So I thank everybody for being out here. Again, shout out to the CURT member organizations who are here and who are a part of this. And before I just let you go, I do want to share, I was going to read one of my own poems.
All right.
But instead, I'm going to read a poem by a woman who I definitely admire. Her name is Assata Shakur. Anybody know who that is?
Tupac's mom.
Right on. Okay, cool. So Assata Shakur, right? Badass revolutionary woman who's right now living in Cuba in political asylum. FBI in 2013 moved her up to the top. She's the top person on the FBI's most wanted list for terrorism. Because she fought for our people here. She fought for liberation, and she was falsely convicted of the murder of a highway patrolman in New Jersey. So she spent years fighting that case, right? When they're gagging her in court, she can't speak for herself. She's not being properly represented. But they falsely convict her of this while she's being housed in a men's prison in the basement in a cell all by herself, so much so that she couldn't even remember how to speak after 2 years of being there. Right? But she wrote this poem, and as soon as I can find my phone, I'm going to read it to you. I wish I remembered it by heart. It's short and it's really powerful, and I want to leave it with you. Because what I see right now is that people want to take our movement, right, and they want to say that they're against it, right? And as we're speaking to members in the House, because CURT does budget advocacy, we do state legislative advocacy, we do county budget advocacy, right? We're all over in these different spaces, and not necessarily because we think that changing policies will change what's happening, but we know that it's one of the ways that we can attack this thing, right?
Yes.
It's one of the ways to dismantle this thing, right? And so we go around talking to these folks, and they're constantly fighting against us, battling us. You know what they're saying? They're saying, no, we're trying to make society safe. We have to continue to remember in our minds that these cages were never created to protect society. They were never created to hold people accountable for harms that they inflict into their community and other people. These cages were created to eliminate and to erase us. Right? Back to my starting point, that manifest destiny, when Europeans came to this country and start wiping folks out and then bringing other folks in to do their labor to build this country up, they said there's too many people here that we don't want to share in this manifest destiny, so we must get rid of them. Why do you think our prisons are built on grounds where there's valley fever and yellow fever? Right now they're trying to construct a jail in Mira Loma. Los Angeles is constructing a women's jail in Mira Loma. It's a women's health facility. And we've already proved while they were doing their environmental report, that it's not safe. That you can't house people there. They'll die. They'll get sick. They don't care. It's approved anyway. That's right. Right now, most of the prisons in this state are built on lands that are poisonous, and our people are dying and suffering. Do you think that's a coincidence?
No.
I will bring the hard truth every time. And I'm
Amen.
telling you right now, none. These cages are created to eliminate us, and we can't let that happen.
Amen.
So right now, let me get this one up. Make some noise. Let these folks see us.
What's up?
This is called Love by Asada Shakir. Love is contraband in hell. Because love is an acid that eats away bars. But you, me, and tomorrow hold hands and make vows that struggle will multiply. The hacksaw has 2 blades. The shotgun has 2 barrels. We are pregnant with freedom. We are a conspiracy. Yeah. Thank you. I will also be around because I want everybody to know we need to make sure we're calling into our assembly members right now to let them know to vote. Vote aye as it's coming up to the assembly floor on SB 180. It's the RISE Act, the repeal of ineffective sentence enhancements. Right now our jails are overcrowded because there's too many people serving time for shit they already paid for in their past, right? You cut your case and go to court right now for a drug crime, and they'll sentence you and then give you extra years for stuff that you were convicted for in your past.
Yes, that's it.
That's not cool.
No.
We got people serving 25 years for an offense that they came to court for and should have only served 4 or 5, right?
That's right.
So call in and tell your assembly members to vote aye on SB 180 and also on SB 10, which is bail reform. And I don't even got time to get into why we need that, right?
How do we get connected with Curb? How do we get connected
We
with Curb?
get connected with Curb. My name is Amber Rose, so just email me at amberrose at curbprisonspending.org, or you can call me at 909-717-8520. Facebook, we also have a page, and we're linked to the Facebook event here. So holler at us anytime.
So everybody today, just a quick reminder, you can find everybody that was speaking today on our Facebook page. But really quick, before we have our next speaker, Teresa, I feel like we should all kind of gather together and try and face this jail and try and tell them that they're not alone and that we see them. How do you feel about that?
I love it.
Let's do it. All right. We see you.
We see you!
You're not alone.
You're not alone!
We see you.
We see you!
We hear you.
We hear you!
We're here for you.
We're here for you!
We are fighting for you.
You're not alone.
You're not alone!
Rise up.
Rise up!
Fight against the system.
Fight against the system!
There are people who care about you.
There are people who care about you!
Alone.
You are not alone!
We are here with you.
We are here with you!
You will experience freedom.
You will experience freedom!
Love and protect each other. That's all we have.
Love and protect each other!
All we have.
You are not alone.
You are not alone!
We are here with you.
We are here with you!
We will fight for you.
We will fight for you!
You'll never ever be alone.
You'll never ever be alone! Yeah!
Thank you. We hear you.
We hear you.
We see you.
We see you!
We feel you.
We feel you!
Black, brown, white, and mate. Stick together, fight the hate.
Black, brown, white, and red! Stick together, fight the hate!
Black, brown, white, and mate. Stick together, fight the hate.
Yeah!
Through unity, we can accomplish anything. And with that being said, I'm going to introduce Teresa, our next speaker. Everybody give a round welcome to Teresa Smith, founder and executive director of LEAN, Law Enforcement Accountability Network.
Yeah!
everybody.
Hello.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
I'm here today just to talk about police brutality. Almost 8 years ago, December 11, 2009, my son Cesar Cruz was shot 15 times in the back in Anaheim by 5 police officers. He left behind 5 boys. He wasn't committing a crime. He wasn't on probation or parole. He had no wants or warrants. To this day, I still don't know why they shot my son. So since then, I've been fighting for accountability. I tell them I'm not going to get justice because they're not going to give me my son back. And that's the only justice I could get. Accountability, I probably won't get it for him, but I'm fighting for the others. I'm fighting for that young man right there. For all the children that are growing up. For all the ones that are in jail, they need to have accountability. For all the mothers who've lost their son across the nation. Every day they're killing 2 to 3 people a day. They keep saying crime is going up. Maybe it is, but you're also killing more people. My son, before he was killed, was here in Riverside County. I wasn't even allowed to go in court with him. Every time he went to court, they'd always have the attorneys in there. I don't know if you guys have that same problem. But I was never allowed to go in there with him. He had never been in trouble before, and he caught a case. They ended up giving him 7 years. He said he hated Riverside. They did a lot of bad things to him. When he got out of prison, he was harassed all the time because he had a bald head and tattoos. That's racial profiling. Although we don't have any data on it, there's a lot of racial profiling going on with our brown and our black young men. There is. I mean, it happens to them every single day. Every single day.
Every day.
That's right.
I see it all the time. I mean, like I said, they stopped my son on a constant. He was always calling me Mom. They got me again. You know, but we need to know our rights. You know, we need to make people aware of their rights. The only problem with that is if you know your rights, the police really get mad. Because they don't know the Constitution. They don't know about amendments. We've asked them about, you know, some things, and being a police officer, you should know those things. They don't. So they have their own amendments. They have their own rights. We really, at this point, don't have any rights. I feel bad for those in prison. They just continue to lock up our loved ones. I have a nephew who got arrested at 19. He's now 25. He's been fighting a case for 5 years. They want to give him life. What is that going to do to him? What is that going to help him with? You have correctional facilities, then correct the problem.
That's it.
You know, they're no longer rehab, okay? Fine, you don't have to call them rehab, but you call them correctional facilities. Then correct the problem.
That's right.
All this money that they're taking for Prop 47 and they're using, I know in our county, the district attorney, law enforcement, and the sheriff's department, but they're all trying to get that money. We've been fighting for that. That needs to go back into the community.
That's right.
Into the people that are doing the work with the people.
That's right.
They keep saying, you know, like they have, well, I know in my county, they say they have a program when you're in jail, and they give you an early release if you join this program. I asked my daughter about it because she was in the county jail. I said, what is the program? What do you do? She goes, they ask if you want to be a part of this program. You say yes. They take a couple of days off your sentence. They take you in a bus, they drop you off in probation and say good luck. That's their program. And that's what they want money for. It's really sad, the things that the government does. It's all about money. Private prisons are an industry.
That's right.
People don't understand that. Prison is an industry. And what is an industry? It's a business. Like Amber Rose said earlier, they're just putting them in jail. It's a modern day slavery. It's
People for profit.
Labor. That's all it is. So we have to continue to go to these legislators because they get up there and when they're candidates and they want to be elected, they go tell you all kinds of stuff. You need to go up in their offices and make sure that they do what they say they're going to do. Make sure that they feel that they care about human beings. Stop caring about those corporations that are giving up money. That's what needs to be done. We've got all these corporations all over the United States. The Police Association, the District Attorneys Association, they have so much money. They back up these people and then they're their little puppets. Do what we say. So it's a tough system, but we have to get people involved. That's what makes things happen. Go see your legislators, really get involved. I heard somebody on CNN today, and he was talking about all the protests that's going on. And they have thousands, over 15,000 people in Boston. And he said, you know, it's nice when the white people come out and they protest, get a photo op, maybe do it one time. But if you really care, get involved with everything. Don't just come out to a protest once. Get involved. Are you there when people are protesting against police brutality? Are you there for the immigration? Are you there for LGBT? Are you there for the people who are, you know, that are the mass incarceration? So get involved. Don't just come out there one time to have a photo op or get your 5 minutes of fame. Because this is something people of color have to live every single day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. You know, you go see movies. I went to go see, oh my God, what's that group's name, the singers? What am I thinking of? Who was it? With Ice Cube and Drake.
Oh, NWA.
NWA. And I go in there and there's, you know, no offense to the white people, but there was a lot of people in that movie. And they're looking at it and they're talking about it. And I told my nephew, you know, these people are watching a movie. This is real life for people of color.
That's right.
That's what it is. That was real life. That was what happened. That's what continues to happen.
Yes.
So white people need to stand up for us. They need to go talk to other white people to get up here. That's what we need. You can't just come up here once in a while for a rally or for a big issue. You need to be out there all the time the way we are. You know, I get tired. Like I said, I've been doing this for almost 8 years and I'm exhausted. I'm all over the place. But you know what? I continue because I love my son. I love and I miss him. And I cannot stop. I won't stop till I take my last breath. So I'm just asking all of you, thank you for letting me speak. Continue to support. Continue to do what you can, whatever it is. Share a story. You know, put some money up. Whatever you can do, do it. Help out these communities, especially the ones. I mean, people are doing this without any money. Everybody needs help. So please help out any organizations that are doing grassroots things. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for sharing your personal story. One of the things that's really important to remember when we discuss police brutality and its ties to the 13th Amendment and modern day slavery, you know, back during, you know, slavery, way back when, right? There was slave catchers. That's evolved to the police officers today. So remember that when we're out on the streets, you know, and they're enforcing these laws, they're not doing it to keep us safe. They're doing it to keep their quotas. Never forget that. Her son is gone because of that. We can't forget him. We can't forget anybody else. The same for our immigrant communities. They're out there rounding them up, putting them in detention centers, directly related to the 13th Amendment. So always remember that our cops are not always our friends. They're there to keep those quotas up. So with that being said, I'd love to introduce our next speaker, Vanya.
All right.
Good afternoon, beautiful people, beautiful organizers, beautiful strugglers, to the resistors and the persisters. And I'd like to make acknowledgement that there are a lot of resistors and you're welcome here. But some of us have been here a long time. And we're persisters, and we'll be here long after 45 is dead and buried.
Damn right.
Amen.
So in coming here today, it is with humility and privilege that I take this mic. There are people inside this county jail who don't see sunlight, who have been so brutalized and their humanity so destroyed that this county had to pay $35 million. To pay some kind of retribution to the harm they were causing people with disabilities that are inside this jail. We've had 2 hunger strikes here in the past 12 months, and it's because what's going on in there is inhumane. There is no such thing as a real classification process. They're paying over 90 cents for top ramen noodles. They're not being allowed visitation. And if they happen to be in segregated housing, they don't even get visits at all, nor do they get to use the phone. And so we already know that cages don't produce public safety. We already know that cages take away your humanity. We already know about the racial disparities that take place all throughout the criminal justice system, from the streets to the courts, to the prisons, to the classification systems. We already know that. And so the question becomes, what are we going to do? And like I heard somebody saying, don't come tell me about it, go tell them about it.
Yeah.
And so we've gone through the Board of Supervisors here, we've talked to city officials here, we're now at the grand jury process, and we're saying that we will be heard, that we are not going away. I'm a proud and humble member of Riverside, all of us are none, and this is our watch. This is what we do, and this is why we're here. It's because the hundreds and thousands of people that are barred up and caged up throughout this nation don't have the voice that we have, but they're connected to us. And because a person is incarcerated doesn't mean they gave up their humanity, and we can't give them up. And that's why I'm here today, and I'm grateful to see you here today. And so my question to you is, what are you going to do after this rally? And if you're not sure and you're not committed, do that before you leave. Amen. Make a promise, make a commitment. These people in here are here 24 hours a day. They don't get to leave. They don't have the freedoms or the so-called freedoms that we enjoy. And we can talk about racist and racism, but to know about something and not to do anything about it, we're complicit. And today I'm not going to be complicit. So thank you and welcome. There's tables over there with information on it. The organizing groups that worked on this had concerns about the 13th Amendment. What is the 13th Amendment? It is a compromise. It was a horrible compromise that has a gaping loophole in it that verifies and okays slavery. And until that gets changed, we'll continue to see slave ships like this, filled with bodies like mine, like yours. And so we have to move against the 13th Amendment, but in the meantime, we have to stay on watch. The 13th Amendment might be years away from changing. People are dying in here every day. Women are killing themselves in the female prisons throughout this state at an alarming rate. They cannot wait. Their children cannot wait. Their children are taken away and put into foster care, a whole nother system that feeds this system. And we have to say that today, not on our watch. Amen. Not on our watch. Thank you. Amen.
Okay, next up we're having Adeline Garcia. She is here to share a mother's story.
Hello, Adeline Garcia here. I've been knowledgeable about the prison for a couple of years now. And I have to read this because I get so emotional I'll lose my track. As a mother of an incarcerated son that's seen him beat up by police to a point where they hit him for 2 weeks without me knowing where he was at. They shoveled him in the jail system. He's not here. Yes, you arrested him. No, he's over there. Go over there. He's not here. They kept him so that a mother would not see him with black and blue eyes, with stitches on his head, walking in crutch. That's how they do it. I'm also know a lot of family members and knowing a lot of mothers who have incarcerated sons in our community. I've seen the prison industry complex through my lens from the days of the school to pipeline in the 80s. A lot of kids were getting juvenile hall from the elementary, 6th grade to the middle school and high school in gangs and numbers. You know, the rates were high, the dropout rates, the suspension rates, and all that filters in to the prison complex. And I've seen the race wars where they would pit white, black, and brown groups in the systems to fight one another. I knew of someone that had to sleep with his boots on just in case it went off. I've seen I've known a mother that had a son during the gladiator fights at Corcoran Prison, where out of the shoe, mind you, where they were totally locked down. They'd let them out for an hour. In that hour, they would come out and they'd put a black brother or a white brother in, and they had to go at it. And whoever won, the guards were in the top towers betting. It was a good money-making, money. I've seen the hunger strikes, where a lot of mothers came out to protest a couple of years ago, which started the big one at the chute in Pelican Bay. A lot of mothers were out there pounding the pavement because it wasn't right anymore to see and hear their sons in there having to put up with these measures that they have for them. I've seen and now faced with mass incarceration and profits for prison, cheap labor, if you may. Not only do we have to deal with that as a mother, we have to deal with the stigma of having a loved one incarcerated when they come out to society. Ooh, you know, he was or she was in prison. Bad people. I'm not a bad people. I don't even have a record. Okay? But dealing through the school to pipeline, and then probation and parole, and they just get a hold of you. I have one member that's trying to get off of parole. It's been 20 years. Any little F up, you go back for 6 months, or you go back for a year. But they'll get you on something. And having to put up with the high costs and the expenditures of, you know, going to see your loved ones in the prison. A sandwich I saw go from $3 to $8. That's been a big jump. And I've seen, you know, the handling, trying to hand them money. We have to use a third party, which they also charge us. They charge us, they charge us, they charge us. Along with other worries that I have is, will they put my family member out to work? Now, you know of the 2 firefighters, inmate firefighters that died. One was Latino, the other was a Caucasian girl that a boulder hit her head. And but if you're a regular firefighter, you get what, $70,000 a year with benefits, 401k, and what you have not, you know, what you get in that little package. But when an inmate comes out, he can't even use that as for his resume, that he helped fight fires. He can't even use that on his resume. There's no acknowledging of what he's done in there. Or he packaged food for this big market that's out of there in Orange County, a lot of them. Or they package juices or milk. They can't use that on a resume. They come out here to ban the box. That's what they face. Ban the box. They can't, you know, use that experience. And then I wonder, boy, if they get injured, are they going to have workers' comp? You know, what would happen to them? Well, they're covered through some medical. I don't know who has, different prisons have different medical companies that chime in, and they're taking care of them. But when they come out, they come out mayhem or injured or back or whatever. We got to put up with that and support him through that. Private companies. I have worked for one that had prisons, and I won't say the other, but they pay their COs cheap. And when you have cheap labor, you don't have the quality work because they don't care, and that's a fact. And we also know about the profits the prisons make, and not only prisons. There's companies out there that, you know, they specialize in making uniforms and shoes for the inmates and handcuffs and straitjackets and bands and whatever they have, and it's good business. You know, they design the linen, the uniforms, food utensils, and everything for the prisons. And as the words of one CEO, he said at a prison industry conference, it's good business. Boy, we're making profits. It's good business. So do you think they want to let go of our loved ones? Now they're after the women. Yes. The rates are going up for women. Yes. And if I'm guilty by association because I have a son incarcerated, I don't care anymore, because I know within me I'm legally innocent, and I will be there, even if it's stigma to me. I will be there for my loved ones, for the mothers that have inmates, for the mothers that have daughters in there, for all the mothers, because this is not right anymore. And thank you for the opportunity that you speak.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your personal story. And just to reflect again on the importance of all of us looking out for each other today. A lot of us are here because we're personally connected to this system. And a lot of times we discuss these things and we forget that something can trigger one of us, or there can be something emotional that happens. Whatever that case may be, let's always remember to just check up with each other throughout the day and make sure we're all okay, because we're all in this together, but some of it's harder than others. Just to keep that in mind. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce Omer from UC Riverside.
I'll tell her your name.
Howdy, folks.
Hey.
How we doing today? So my name is Omer. If you don't want to know how to pronounce that, it's Homer without the H. I just want to recognize all the women of color that came up before me. This movement is driven by your labor, and it's dependent on it, and it can't happen without you. Y'all were great. Let's give them a round of applause for that.
Yeah.
I met Teresa actually when I was a graduating senior, and her story about her son Caesar truly touched me, and it's driven all the work that I've done so far. And I think about you and your story and everything I do. So thank you for your courage. I do want to say that the system is driven by capitalism. You got a bail bonds facility over there.
That's right.
That's no coincidence. It's driven by white supremacy.
That's right.
It's driven by misogyny.
Yep.
But our movement is driven by the community and cultural wealth that we all have.
Yeah.
We don't need that money. We don't need that oil company. We don't need. We have ourselves, and that's all we need.
That's right.
It's driven internally. I have some notes that I'm going to read off my phone just because I don't want to ramble on for too long. It is a budget issue. You know, you got $70K to lock a black or brown body up in there for, you know, a year, but you can also pay $70K for someone's tuition, and that is way more impactful than locking them up. I'd say that there's more drugs done on college campuses than in neighborhoods and communities of color, and that is not being recognized. You see that at UCR, you see that at Santa Barbara, all over the UC system, but who gets over police? The communities of color that we all come from. I'm from Pakistan. I came there from there as a political refugee, but I've lived in the IE since I was 9 years old, and I've come to call this place my home. And I want to say something that organizing is a messy process, y'all. Students, especially from UC Riverside, haven't always been at the table, but we're here now, and we're allying ourselves with workers, with prisoners, with incarcerated folks, and we're here now, and we're here to organize with you.
Excellent.
We're hosting the Students of Color Conference at UC Riverside in January, and we're looking for community partners and folks to come talk to us and tell us about their stories and their movements. So if you're interested in that, please let's talk. Let's see how we can provide space for you. SB 54 is also moving through. We got a racist sheriff in Riverside County. We need to get rid of that. We got DAs that over-police and over-incarcerate. Let's get organizing about that. Kamala Harris is pushing through bail reform legislation. You hear that? Bail bonds 24/7. We're coming after you. So let's get the conversations going.
Supervisors.
Let's reach out to the County Board of Supervisors. Yeah. Overwhelmingly white, wealthy, and not representing our community.
Ex-policemen.
Police unions. Thank you all for giving me this platform. I'll pass it back to Marissa. Please,
Thank you, Almer.
Okay, up next we have Terrence Stewart, who is a member of All of Us or None. Yeah! Yeah! All right! Woo-hoo!
Hello. Hey. Man, that's my homegirl. We worked on a bill to curb racial profiling, 8953. You know, can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me?
Now we can.
I'm gonna say I don't need this thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, now shout out to them. Everybody, man, right on for what y'all doing, man. They do need to abolish slavery because, like, the 13th Amendment, just like everything else, like the system has changed, and like the same racism and slavery, it don't look like it, but it just changed design and it's still the same thing. What I'm saying is that like, we've been reading it, you know, they created slavery as a systematic way to keep people oppressed, and also like, it was a point in time when it was indigenous insurgents that was white, and it was black people that were slaves, and we was working together, and we ended up doing the Bacon Rebellion, and to stop us from doing the Bacon Rebellion and coming together, they created different levels of inequality in which they made certain people slave patrol, and they made black people the people being oppressed by the slave patrol, captured, unarmed, uneducated, and not able to assemble. So like, that's still what the police is doing today. They're trying to keep us unarmed, uneducated, and not ready to assemble because they know what the power will happen if we get together. See, it's strictly unity, you know, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to divide us because the key thing is that they automatically know that a divided nation will never stand. So then when we look at each thing as that's their problem and that's their problem, then it becomes a bigger problem because now we ain't able to identify what's been systematically oppressing us for so many centuries. You know, and like it said, like at the end of slavery, the quote-unquote emancipation across the nation, you know what I mean? It's hypocrisy. Because what they did was after they let go of the emancipation, they created, you know, not just right away, they first it was like a reconstruction period where black people were elevated for the first time and that they were starting to have more people in politics and everything else, and they seen that coming, and then they created a Jim Crow segregation to keep us from trying to control the nation. So like, what happened after that? When it started looking real crazy for people to be segregationists, then they created the tough war on drugs, war on crime, and that would have systematically oppressed our folks, you know what I mean? Then we start to create other mechanisms to keep us oppressed and keep us locked up in their cells. Because like they said, the 13th Amendment says that the person who's subject to nonviolent servitude is people that have been convicted of a crime. So then you start to think of that and add that together and realize that like that prison is slavery. It's just under another term. It's just like I said before. The Cadillac of 1964 does not look like the Cadillac of 2014, but it's still a Cadillac. Yeah. This is still slavery. You know what I mean? It's still slavery. They picking on people. This is not statistics when they say 1 in 3 black men is going to jail. When they starting to say 1 in 7 African American women is going to jail. These are not statistics. These are our family. This is my aunties. This is my cousin. This is my uncle. This is my grandfather. So we got a lot. You know what I mean? And we should not be subject to your what's called economical empire. You know, and they say, oh yes, but people nowadays, you know, slavery had jobs. We're like, hold up. We learned skills from slavery. No, we came here with skills. Yeah. You learned skills from us. Right. You know what I mean? And like, they got us to the point where we don't know who's reported to believe. When people who are in jail tell you about the situations in jail, we don't believe them, but we believe a system that's been fucking us over for years. Yeah. This is for years, man. This is constant. This is since I've been a kid. They sold slave bodies on the government doorstep. They sold them on the steps. So how can we say we need to obey the law when the law is systematically disobeying us? Come on! Yeah. You know, like Malcolm X said, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us! You know what I mean? Feel me, sister? Yeah. Right on, man, right on with the right on. So we're going to continue to fight. You know what I mean? We're going to continue to fight, and we're going to fight hard. You know what I mean? We're going to fight with love. You know what I mean? Because I love my friends that are formerly incarcerated and are incarcerated, I'm finna get up and give them hell. Yup. It ain't because I'm mad, it's because I love. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love my family. I love y'all. I love people that's willing to stand up to this system that is systematically oppressing us, that's oppressing our children, that got plans for our children before they even born. You know what I mean? My son has already got a plan for them, and I'd be damned if I let them let my son fall into their damn plan. Not on my watch, not in my business, and if we sit silence, silence is violence. That's right. Silence is violence. You know what I mean? If you sit back and do nothing, that's the only way evil can be good. Is if evil, if good sit back and not do nothing. Yeah. So it's time, in the past, in the 80s, they let the crack epidemic hit the streets, and the media demonized crack. They demonized welfare queens. Hold up, I just want to say one thing too, before I switch subjects, and I want to say this, because I mean this deadly from my heart. The reason why they call black women welfare queens is just because it's queen in their name. Because we ain't the ones that mainly on it. Yes, they just demonize a certain population so that they can systematically keep us oppressed. Yes. So like, you know what I mean? So like, they use these damn terms and they use these systems and like, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's a new day now. You know what I mean? And I mean all my life, you know what I mean? I said, oh, I wanted to be part of the 60s and the civil rights movement. But now I'm glad I'm part of today because we're going to be a part of today. You know what I mean? On everything. So, y'all keep your hands up. You know what I mean? Hold up, time out. Wait, that's Will. What do we do when your people is under attack?
Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back.
I need to ask that question again. What do you do when your people are under attack?
Stand up, fight back.
What do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
We're going to fight back. Thank you. All of us!
Really quick, a lot of other people have joined us. Really quick, behind you there's a bunch of water and ice buckets, so if you need to stay hydrated, please do so. And with that, I'd like to introduce Layla Aziz.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. I want to start it off like this. Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make your prisons fall. Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make your prisons fall. Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make your prisons fall. Brick by brick, wall by wall, we will make your prisons fall. Abolish slavery. Abolish the 13th. Now, as everyone knows, this call that we're here right now, generated behind the belly of the beast, behind enemy lines from prisoners. We are the voices of prisoners. SJ started this, and many other political prisoners rose up in Angola 3. Mumia Abu-Jamal, Jalil Matakim, many others rose up to the challenge. Mumia will be calling into DC today.
Yeah.
You guys did this movement. So we look at this, and we're told slavery was abolished, right?
Right. Bullshit.
Right?
Wrong.
Let's look at what's going on right now. We have racist nationalists, such as the Proud Boys, The #1 agenda on their 10 points are to abolish prisons. Why is that? We had some tell us they were going to help us, but they want to build a wall. Guess what we said? Fuck you, all of us or none.
Yeah.
All of us or none. The 13th Amendment is slave labor paid at either nothing or cents an hour. It's not being able to vote. Why do you lose your right to vote ever in this country?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Wow.
It's not being able to hold certain professional licenses to feed your family.
Yeah.
This is what slavery does. You're a fourth waiver. You can't even protect yourself against violence.
That's right.
This is what slavery does. We are here to close the loophole in the 13th Amendment. We are slavery abolitionists.
Yeah.
Joined by some prison abolitionists. I have no qualms with you guys. Let's go. All of us or none. All of us or none.
All of us are none.
So we stand here today with one demand: to close the loop, the hole, the indentured clause, the slavery clause, all these different clauses that led to more people being in slavery now than were in slavery before the Emancipation Proclamation.
That's right.
We see you.
Yeah.
We see what you're doing. As we stand up for racism, the reason why Confederate flags still stand is because slavery is still legal. There's a reason for that. The brother before me talked about his sons. Those are my sons, my twins. They have constructed a jail cell for them based on them being in special education. That's how it works. The school to prison pipeline. That's how they construct cells. And I'm here ready to die before you do mine. Period, point blank. We had a long talk. We came up from San Diego. And we talked about why women, like one of Omar, he said his name. He said it wasn't Omar though. Where is he? About the women. Omar. About the women who are the front lines of this movement. And we talked about the reason. Because we move as one. We're not trying to be the head. We're the body. We're not trying to get recognition. We're the body. When Cecilia and Anna said, you know what, we're going to do this because I told my son, that I was going to fight for him until the day I die. We don't want recognition. We're not politicians.
Yeah.
Every piece, I will be a finger in this movement. You just be the thumb. Come on. One of y'all be the ligaments. One of y'all be the skeleton. We don't need leaders. We need soldiers. We will abolish slavery.
Yeah.
Our children will not grow up enslaved. We have some reformist stuff coming up, and we're kind of with them. We're not reformist though. But SB 10 bail, cash bail. Someone spoke about the bail industry.
Down with it.
Abolish cash bail.
Yeah.
Right now, some of our assembly members get a lot of money, and they're refusing to pass it. It's the last stop. Call your assembly member and ask them, how much money did you get from the slaveholders? Or why you're not standing up with the people.
Come on, come on.
And as we go, all I want to say is this is the beginning.
Amen. Yeah, that's right.
This is the beginning. This
Yeah.
is the day we meet each other.
That's right.
We have a long haul.
Yeah.
We will be able to tell our grandchildren that we did what Frederick Douglass started to do. We did what John Brown died for.
That's right.
Yeah.
We did these things. And the people that supported us, supported the Million for Prisoners Human Rights March, thank you. Thank you. We are allies and comrades forever. Thank you.
Thank you.
You hot. Get him. Get him.
I forgot something I was supposed to say. We're actually doing a phone bank on Monday.
Okay.
For SB 10.
That's right.
And we're doing it in Ontario on 200 South Euclid.
Yes.
And my man Rory with the green shirt on, he has a sign-in sheet if you want to get involved. You know what I mean? Because like that's the best way you do. You can sit up, if we can do all this hot blowing air, or we can get involved in whatever the movement going in. So please get involved with the movement. Yes.
Do you have to be in Riverside for that?
No.
Awesome.
No. You know what I mean? We don't need no help. We need more help. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay, so we've heard from a lot of different people today, a very diverse group here. And so I want to be really brief to close this out and just kind of end this with a thought as to why we're standing here. You know, we've heard from you know, personal family side to formerly incarcerated side to police brutality, but to ground us back to what abolishing the 13th, amending the 13th, whatever you want to call it, means, is calling out the prison industrial complex for what it really is. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I believe you said it earlier that today is just the beginning, right? You know, we're all here to meet each other. Well, guess what? Congratulations, you all are standing here today. Look at this coalition that just formed, Millions for Prisoners California. Say hi to each other, pat each other on the back, give each other a hug. No, I'm serious, do it. Like, say hi. Like,
hey guys.
Yourself.
What's up, man?
Cam?
Oh, nice to meet you.
No, from Highland.
To abolish slavery and to get rid of money bail, we got to do it together as one people. USA.
Say hi, Facebook Live.
All right, I wasn't done. Okay, now stop. Now that we're introducing each other, everybody. How is that feeling?
I'm with Riverside group down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're networking, right? So to close this out really quick, I'm gonna end with a reminder to stop by the table to put your name, your email address, and your phone number to sign up so that we can get started. We are going to have a focus group after this at the church. This is really a time for us to really connect and dialogue with each other about what's next, because that's really that's the conversation that needs to be had, is what's next for us in California.
Yes.
I believe in Washington, they stated today that we've immediately turned into a national coalition. We will achieve our goals of building that collective and putting the issue on the table and demanding that Congress remove this clause that legalizes slavery. And one last thing, when we talk about modern day slavery, like sometimes it's hard for us to visualize slavery, right? You know, like for some of us, we think of like our old history books, which were all lies, of course, you know.
Yes, indeed.
History books are lies.
You know, but we think of all this stuff, like, and you go, there's no slavery in America. Like, I had this conversation. California has a lot of fires, right?
Yes.
We're always on fire. Almost half of our firefighters are inmates.
Right.
Yeah.
When they're fighting fires, they make $2 an hour.
Yeah.
Teresa mentioned.
Shame.
So, remember that when we talk about this in the future, that we have inmates out on the line right now fighting those fires, and they don't get to come home. Kamala Harris, her attorneys in court, fought to release people early, and you know what they said in court on paper? They were afraid of who would fight the fires in California if they were to actually release people.
Because it saves them
$80 million a year.
Shame.
Remember the inmates like they're your own. And welcome to the new California Coalition to amend the 13th.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's chant to the prisoners. We see you. You're not alone.
We see you.
We see you.
You are not alone. Black, brown, white inmate, stick together, fight the hate.
Black, brown, white, and hate. Stick together and fight the hate.
Black, brown, white inmates, stick together, fight the hate.
Black, brown, white inmates. Stick together, fight the hate.
Black, brown, white inmates, stick together, fight the hate.
Black, brown, white inmates. Stick together, fight the hate.
We see you.
We see you.
We hear you.
We hear you.
And you will never be alone.
You will never be alone. Yeah!